So hi guys, welcome to Ustream. If you want to call me, then you can call me on Skype, which is Lisa Cairns 12, all lowercase letters. Lisa Cairns 12. If you want to watch me on Ustream, it's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Dutch time and Sunday at 6 p.m. Dutch time. If you want to come to any of my events, then there is a few coming up. There is one the 27th to the 29th is in Prague, Czech Republic. 27th to 29th. What fun. Sorry. And the 4th to the 6th of December, I will be in Berlin, Germany. And if you're coming to the Berlin, Germany ones, I just had to change the times around a little bit. So just check my website. It's the same days, just a slightly different times. The 13th of December, Gouda, Netherlands. The 31st of December, Mosaic, Belgium. So that will be for New Year, for 3 nights. But there's very few places. There's only 15 places. January 2016, there'll be Amsterdam, the Netherlands. That's till 22nd to 24th. It might only be the Saturday now. So keep posted on that. And then February the 16th, retreat in southern Spain. And it's nearly sold out. So if you want to come on the retreat in southern Spain, you need to book now, really. It's going quick. Then in March, it would be a retreat in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, at this beautiful house of a friend of mine. And there's West Hollywood and Beverly Hills nearby to stay in, and then you can walk to the venue. And there's some very luxurious hotels if you're richer, and some dorm rooms if you're poorer. Also, I will be doing talks in San Francisco the 4th, 5th and 6th of March. There'll be some more in America. I just have to work it all out. Then April, be Ibiza. The 20th to the 25th. That's all I have on so far. So I just posted on Facebook the Heart Sutra. It's such a beautiful sutra. It's a Buddhist sutra. Originally, when I got into this subject, my first point of contact was Buddhism. And I was reading recently that some people are attracted to emptiness teachings, and when you hear even the word emptiness, your hair stands on its end, and that's always what I was attracted to. And when I first heard the Heart Sutra, it made me shiver. It's so beautiful. And it's funny because without any recognition, this seems to be what I teach more so than non-duality. But in a way, not to is. It's just sort of the same thing, but this is more the way that I speak than typical non-duality. Non-duality tends to be about awareness, and I don't even know what that is. That just makes no sense here. But this makes sense, and it's so beautiful. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, concepts, mental formation, and consciousness are emptiness. Therefore, Sriya Puta, all experiences is emptiness. It's not defined, it is not born or destroyed, impure or free from impurity, not incomplete or complete. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no concept, no mental formation, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no mind object, no I element up to no I element up to no mind element, and no mind consciousness element, no ignorance, no end of ignorance, up to no old age and death, no end of old age and death, no suffering, no origin, no cessation, no path, no pristine awareness, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, because for bodhisattvas there is no attainment, they rest, trusting the perfection of wisdom, with nothing clouding their minds. They have no fear, they leave delusion behind and come to the end of nirvana. All the Buddhas of the 3 times, by means of perfection of wisdom, fully awakened to unsurpassable, true, complete awakening. Wow. Here's another one. When this is, that is. From the arising of this comes the arising of that. When this isn't, that isn't. From the cessation of this comes the cessation of that. Everything goes on just the same. Everything is as it is. But it's empty, and that's the freedom. It's not happening for anyone, it's empty. It's all empty. How can I say much more? There's nothing here. Everything is empty. Opening the door, shutting the door, looking, speaking, writing, being angry, happy, sad, and it's nothing to do with the human. It's nothing to do with behaving a particular way. I'm so fucking unenlightened as a character, if you knew. Look, my dog just spent ages burying her bone, and as soon as she'd finished, I pulled it out and showed her. It's nothing to do with the character. The character is the character, whatever it may be. People think that enlightenment is about improving the character and being something else, but that's what the whole world is set on. All of humanity is based on this idea of being something better than you fucking are. This is it. This is the beauty. And even if you're reacting to the word fuck it. It's empty, and that's its freedom. And that's the beauty, and it's so beautiful. Everything is so empty. It's not about you getting better. It's not about you having better relationships or being nicer or kinder or compassionate. Nothing to do with that. Or not wearing short skirts or having high-cut tops. Not showing any part of your chest. Walking around without makeup on or without painting your hair, or not eating meat. It's the collapsing of somebody which is making this feel real and making this feel like this is happening to someone. This isn't happening to anyone. This is full stop, total full stop. And there's God. That is it. This isn't about you getting it or understanding it. You don't exist. You never have. That's been the problem, the belief that you exist. And you're seeking for the freedom in time. You're seeking for the freedom in being a perfect, bloody human. Me and Khaleesi are so imperfect. I have these two beautiful, beautiful little rabbits that I bought. And they're so cute and they're so adorable. And Khaleesi has to sit outside and she has to be quiet. And she's a little confused. She thinks she might be a rabbit. She gets confused. But every time they run fast, I see how quickly she jumps up and she wants to snap their necks and rip them open. And she is totally enlightened. And that scares the shit out of you if you are someone. If you are someone, you want to make this peaceful because you're so scared of dying. You're so scared of not existing. You've never existed. The you that pretends it exists is what's created the suffering. It's what's created the constant agony, the constant sense that this is wrong, the constant fear of losing this and that, of spending days and days in the rage with your neighbour. This is about the collapse of being someone, and then this body becomes fully human because its whole life it's been trying to be something. It's been trying to get completion out of every fucking thing it's come in front of. I'm sorry that I'm saying fuck today, but it's just so exciting and so beautiful. And I'm completely not sorry that I'm saying fuck. I'm such a monkey. I'm sure there's somebody listening today that has an offence or aversion towards that word. One day or for a while, I had a lady writing to me. She seemed a lovely lady. She was in her 60s. And she said, and she just kept writing to me, repeating, your boyfriend doesn't fuck you with love. That's why, have sex with you with love. That's why you have to use the word fuck. Any woman that uses the word fuck does not have a boyfriend that makes love to them with love. So if you are one of those women that says the F word, then obviously that's what's the problem. That's why that word is used. Otherwise it wouldn't be used. I'm being sarcastic. Just in case some people didn't realise. This is not about being an enlightened person. None of this is happening to anyone. This is empty. It's gone as soon as it's come. This is its freedom, not what's happening, because what's happening, it's growth, destruction, it's pain and pleasure. What comes goes. It's totally ungrabbable. It's so empty. And that is love. Its emptiness is the love. Because the emptiness is stopped. It's stopped. It's happening and it's not happening. This is wild. None of this is happening to you. Okay, that's that. Any questions? Hi, C. Villas. Hi, Phyllis. I just called Bradley. Aw, Bradley, I missed you. Hi, Ramon. Oh, well, nobody wants to ask. Oh, there's Bradley. Hey, Bradley. You left home already.
I have a few minutes for a question or two. Is the audio too loud there?
No, it's perfect. Hey.
Good. Awesome introduction. Hilarious. I honestly, I've been loving how certainly you talk about non-duality and how you talk about how it's absolutely natural for the tidying of the cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the dog, Khaleesi finding a place for the bone.
Yeah.
It's actually natural.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then maybe so feelings that come up that feel quote unquote negative are actually just survival, like animal traits, animal what do you call it when Darwinian evolutionary stuff, and it's just the owning of them by the believed.
It's the owning of them that's the only problem.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they can be improved. Like, if you're difficult and if you're experiencing lots of pain, if you've been traumatized, if you've had a trauma in some way, they can be improved, and that's nice. But the real issue isn't that. The real issue is that energy which claims it to be you, and then it feels stuck in you, and you feel guilty and bad for being you, when really everything that comes out of that body is the perfect expression of absolute creativity. It's so creative being Bradley. It's the most creative thing there is, this appearance of this Bradley character. But then it's also creative, but that's what suffering is the sucking in and that fake feeling that it's real. It's really real, and then it becomes so serious. And what's happening in these talks, I suspect, although I can't guarantee anything, is a collapsing of that energy, and so then Bradley becomes truly Bradley, and life becomes as it is. Like Bradley expresses itself without this cage trying to make Bradley something more or less than he is, and without trying to find completion in Bradley. So Bradley can shout, can scream, can cry, just like a kid does, but freely. When the person's there, it's always holding it in, and it's always trying to find something extra in itself. Everywhere it's looking for that place of home, and home is in everything that's happening. And I think in these talks, it's not really, the reconditioning can happen, and it's not the reconditioning that's happening in these talks, but there is a remembering of this emptiness, of this freedom that everything is, that it appears and goes instantaneously. So if Bradley's having a rage, that's totally free. Whereas before, when Bradley's having a rage, it's sucked into a very tight energy, and it feels so real and important, and you really believe that if you get what you want, you will be complete and whole. So it's so important, the rage. You would kill for the rage to try and get home. But when that collapses, then the rage is free to be as it is. And then there's rage, and then it's gone. Just like everything, the whole world. There can be a trauma, and then it's gone. You know, there could be something traumatic. But it's also equally the other way. There can be the most beautiful, spectacular event, and then it's gone. Everything is gone. It's not happening for someone. It's happening for no reason, just spontaneous creativity. There's this beautiful film called If I Lived, and it's a bit cheesy in Hollywood, but there's this sentence in it that's so beautiful.
If I stay?
If I stayed, yes. Have you seen it?
I watched it, I think, because of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's this beautiful part in it, which I loved, where the dad was sitting outside the bedroom, and the daughter's playing, and he realised the daughter was only 7 or 6, and he realised that she was playing for no reason. And he always played for a reason. And then he realised that was true art, that she was not playing to be famous, she was not playing to be rich, she was not playing to impress, there was just playing happening.
I honestly, and whether or not it's helping only in flow or whatever, I honestly like how you bring up science sometimes too, and how you bring up the conditioning, even though that's not what you're talking about.
No, it's not what I'm talking about, but I do think it can recondition in a really positive way as well. Like it can, because it just relaxes that person. But simultaneously, what's happening is the collapse of that separate self. So also the character is also going through a process of not being so neurotic as well. Like that's being affected as the person stops being held so tightly onto, then it's becoming more natural anyway. But that process of speaking and talking about non-duality or emptiness, it is going to bring up intense fear as well. So there's going to be this flip-flopping when listening to this message, because you are going to have this fear because you're being taken to the edge of your own death. So there's going to be a relaxing of that person, but there's also going to be this fear more than likely that comes as well at points. So the person's going to even out and balance out, but you might find that every so often this panic or fear comes, like intense fear. It's like you're going to die.
Is pure animal. And,
it is in one way. It is the most natural thing, but what's dying is something which is an illusion. Like it is a really natural thing. So basically, in the brain, this fear of death. So the body's saying, "I'm going to die," and it's not the body that's going to die. It's the illusion of self that's going to die. So it is a really natural fear that comes up. You might just notice it comes up more. Because that sense is being touched so much. And that will pass too. Everything is so empty.
Great, Lisa. Oh, do you have a call Sunday?
Yeah, I do,
Or
yeah.
do you have a... Okay, good. And then I haven't looked at your site. Have you posted more yet about California, or do you just have the 5-day LA?
Just the LA deal, but I've just booked a venue in San Francisco, in Union Square.
And that would be like the following weekend or something
No,
like
it
that?
would be 2 weekends before the the LA one.
2 weekends before that?
Yeah, the LA one's like the last one before I fly home.
Very cool. Very cool. I think I'm going to make it out that way. So.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying to jump over to New York, but that's like 10 hours of flying, but I might do it. So don't book yet. I should know in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, very cool. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thanks, Bradley. Thanks, indeed. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey. Hey.
You can see me?
Sorry?
You can see me?
Yes.
I can see you as well, but a little funny angle.
Really?
Oh, you're buttering toast.
Sorry? Like...
Maybe he was making his dinner while I was speaking with him. Okay, I'm not having much luck. If you want to speak, then call. Oh, Maria wanted to speak. Hey, Maria.
Hi, Lisa. I was surprised, really. I was like, I'm hearing you talking with somebody else, and just suddenly.
I know you're a little bit behind.
Yeah, a little bit, pretty much. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Let's see. It was really a beautiful introduction today.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that people that listen to me often also resonate a lot with the word emptiness. And
yeah, it was really. It's so empty because everything is empty. It's like dead. Like everything is dead.
It sounds so negative when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
It's all dead.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah.
No need to stress. You are already dead. It was really beautiful to hear Khaleesi going around with her pose. Really.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
And hiding.
No bone. Yeah, I don't think you guys could see it very well because there's not enough light in here.
But you made light, then it was clear enough. So thank you. It's our guru. I just want to say I fucking love emptiness. Well, I just said fuck. Okay, I say fuck one more time. Yeah, maybe a little bit censored, maybe now. It's like it's everything is disappearing in this, and there is no limit to anything, and nothing is limited. And
I always feel, Maria, when we're speaking that you don't have any questions, but it's sweet. But you're like, ah! But you don't need the questions.
I don't really. I have sometimes, but they just disappearing. You know.
Yeah.
They keep disappearing. It's like like you lost your memory.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Dying all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking beautiful. I said it again. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Oh, my pleasure, Maria. Yeah, it's a joy.
Have a nice evening, you, Khaleesi, and Habon.
Oh, thank you.
And Paul.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
This is for Alex Clean. She just wrote to me. And there's something that wants to be said towards you. When the illusory self's there, it can see nothing but itself. It's so focused on what it is and what it wants to get to, whether it be enlightenment or money or a different situation. It can't hear this subject. If it does hear this subject, it hears it in cause and effect. It hears it in me and liberation. I get there, and it imagines itself getting there to completion. And in a way, that imagination has a sweet effect, because momentarily, when the hope and the imagination arises of getting to completion, everything drops away and there's a taste, a taste, a taste. It's so cruel the way the illusion's set up. It's always tasting that freedom but can't quite get there. It's the same with all desire. In the moment of wishing for them or obtaining them, there is a part of the separate self that falls away, that seeker that's always looking for something else. It's still there, there's still a containment, but there's a big part of it that collapses, that sense that something else will complete you, that something will get me there. And getting objects, there's sometimes this falling away of the sense that anything else is wanted. My friend had a big awakening when she got her house and moved in with her boyfriend, and she sat in her house and she thought, this is perfect. I don't want anything else. I've got everything I've ever wanted. And she had a massive awakening. It's really sweet. Because that one that's striving something dies, in a way, in seeking pleasure. Because there's a belief that it is there. I got it. I got the award. I got the success. And none of it's true. Everything you wish for, everything that you are, that you like or you don't like, your whole life, your kids, your family, your dog, your friends, none of it exists. This is all there is. And this message is of such love, such beauty. This is all there is. And it's so empty. So empty. There is never anywhere to get to. The beauty was in the expression. The separate self feels it's in the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, in bigger and grandeur. But the beauty is the expression. I'm not talking about the character, I'm not talking about the body-mind mechanism. The body-mind mechanism is designed to always move towards pleasure, to get food, to have warmth, shelter, to be sexual or whatever it's doing, to flirt, to obtain the man. That's what it's designed to do. And I'm not talking on that level. I'm not talking about the person. That's what you think I'm talking about. So when you hear this message that it's not in the next thing, you think you have to try not to get the next thing. But there is no you. That's the illusion. The body is designed to move forward and on to the next thing. But there's no you which moves on to the next thing. You, who you truly are, is everything, which is empty. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Person has to move towards pleasure. That's what it's designed to do. So this isn't me saying that you should stop seeking or that you should stop trying to attain pleasure. This is me saying there is no you which is experiencing all this. The body is designed to move forward, but there's nobody in that body. There is simply everything, which is full stop stillness. The body has friends, the body has a kid, the body has a dog, the body has responsibility, but nobody does. Here lies God. Here lies God. Here lies freedom. Well, that was for Alex, but it also wasn't for Alex, because there is no Alex. It was just being expressed. Wow. You know what I love about animals? Is that they have these wild eyes too. They're so empty. There's nobody experiencing anything in those animals. It's just being experienced, it's just life happening. You can see the wildness. You're going to see Easie's eyes. Easy. Oh, she's been sleeping. She's like, F off, Lisa. Easy. She's looking at me. It looks to you guys like she's looking the other way. The camera's the opposite way. Easy. Easy. It's pretty hard because she's sleeping. She just ate. Where's a puppy to puppy? Oh, look at it. You can't see it. When Khaleesi was a puppy, she she's never really had much contact with humans before. And in the dog world, looking into dogs' eyes, they don't really do that unless they're going to fight or something. So I had to train her to look in my face. And it took months and months before she'd look in my face. And then ages before she looked me in the eye. And I remember like the first time she looked in my eyes, it was so beautiful. I used to hold the food here. It said in the books to hold the food up here to get her to try and look. So I'd be like holding chicken up here. And then one day, because you can always see when someone's not quite looking in your eyes, and then one day she just went down and looked directly into my eyes. Now she does it quite a lot, but she's still a bit funny about it, but she does it quite a lot. Oh, more people to ask questions. Ah. Hey, Karen.
Hey, Lisa.
Oh, it's a guy.
Oh, oh, you thought I'm a girl? Okay, I need to put the Ustream off?
Actually, it's okay. I can't hear it.
Oh, okay. Right, so I have been doing this yoga practice and like it's kind of fucking me up, And I heard you talking about Katie Byron, I think.
Yeah.
And like a friend of yours too, like who couldn't I think like she got hospitalized for not getting a junk map clear or something.
Not getting what, sorry?
Like she couldn't go poop or something. Like is it what you said?
I've forgotten now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
So like that's what's it's happening with me. Like my body is like really getting fucked up and
what type of yoga are you doing?
it's like a 20-minute practice. It's called Shambhavi Mahamudra.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know about it?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like it's supposed to be pretty intense, and I've done like self-inquiry and stuff before, and like had like a couple of experiences, and like so can't really explain all that stuff, but now it feels like my body is really getting fucked up, and like how that stuff works.
I don't know anything about it actually. It's going like emotionally in your mind or physically?
Yeah, in my mind and physically too, um, like really really hardcore anxiety, and I get like fears of all sorts, and
You get what sort of?
like fears, like all
Yeah.
sorts of fears, and
Yeah.
yeah, like that kind of stuff.
That can also happen when the person's collapsing. Like intense fear can happen because the person feels like it's going to die. But I don't have any easy answers for you on the level of the person because we don't know at the end of the day. We don't understand all of this and how it's working. Our mind is only set up in order to obtain, in order to get pleasure and avoid pain. That's the way our mind works and the way thoughts work. We don't really understand how it's working or what leads to what. So I don't know anything about that or what's leading to what. The true suffering and what you're really afraid of is dying, is the person
Yeah,
dying.
that's true. Like that's really true. And till some time back, I used to get like weird sort of fears. Like I'll forget how to talk.
Yeah.
And like weird sorts of fears, like which I never thought of before, and like even when I tried self inquiry and stuff, as like what Muji explains.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I used to do that, it used to be really scary, and
Yeah.
um
The thing is I can't or nobody can save you from that. That's something that's appearing. It is all safe because who's truly experiencing now and listening now isn't that person. That person isn't experienced. So there's nothing that dies and there's nowhere one to fall out of reality or to be abandoned in any way. You're always surrounded by this. Like everything is the same. Everything is made of the same. But when that fear comes up, it's really intense. Really, really, it's like it can
very
feel
intense.
can feel like you're just about to die at any moment, and there's trying to
exactly.
deal with regular situations, and the feeling that your voice is going, or language going, or sight's going. All of these things can be an effect of awakening. It could also be there's something wrong with the body, but either way, even if there was something wrong with the body, it's still all God. It's still all made of the same thing. But that fear's got to come up and got to pass through, and you could stop doing the yoga or do the yoga or stop and start. But at the same time, it's all got to happen the way it happens. Life's got to do its dance, and in the deepest spheres and in the deepest hells, it's got to express itself. And emptiness, life, is strong enough for it. The person might feel like it's right on the brink of insanity, but life, which is the creator of everything, nothingness, emptiness, which is the creator of everything, and what's listening and what's hearing and what's looking and what's creating everything and is everything, has never been affected. But the dance of the person might feel like all the air's coming out of the balloon, and you know when the balloon whizzes around the room, it all is safe. But the person feels so totally separate and unsafe and scared.
But most of the times I don't even see a person, like,
Yeah. No, I mean there isn't a person, there's just sensation appearing. There isn't anybody
yes,
there.
exactly.
But the reason that it's appearing is because of this contraction, which isn't seeable, but it's like an energetic contraction inside the body. And that's feeling threatened, and so the side effect is deep anxiety and fear and pain.
But where does this exactly happen? This
The person.
contraction, this where does it exactly happen?
I think it's constantly changing position, but it's somewhere inside of the torso. It's either behind the eyes, the contraction, or inside the heart, or inside the neck, or in the gut, or in the sexual energy. And it feels like that is what's in relationship with life. It's an energetic feeling. It's not something that you can see or think about. It's a sense of feeling like you're in relationship with life. And that energetic sense always gives the appearance that there's something wrong. And it always feels like there's something missing because it's separated from wholeness and became something. And then the side effects is somebody that thinks about this and obsesses about this and can look at this. And that's like what comes up as part of it. Like the person that feels like it can look and hear and listen. And none of it is a you. There is sensation appearing, and the truth is that all sensation is empty, and that's what's being remembered here. That's what awakening is that everything is empty. This manifestation that's incredibly loud and bizarre and full is totally silent, still, and empty. Nothing's ever happened. Nothing was ever threatened. It was total creativity.
So where does all of this happen?
Which part?
I don't know, every part.
All of it's happening in this. And this isn't. This is and isn't. This might bring up a lot of fear. It feels like maybe going insane from the person's perspective. It is totally radically different from being a person.
Yeah, that's so hard to grasp,
It's totally impossible to grasp, but yet it is. The person feels the effect of it, of freedom, or it might feel fear from it, but it's impossible for the person to grasp because the person is something moving in time. It's this energy that believes it is something and that it's come from A and going to B. But in this conversation, it's not about you grasping it. There's something else happening. There's a remembering of something that always was and is and isn't. A stillness that was always free.
Then what makes us move away from it?
The separate person, it's not that you are that separate person, but the separate person is always designed to look in time for completion. And when it looks in time, it moves away from it because it believes its completion is an object. So it's not that it exactly moves away from it, it's just designed to always look in time. And you could say that that will have helped the evolution of the human because it's made survival really important because the human thought it existed and was real.
So you don't feel this contraction anymore?
It's not exactly me, but no, this is emptiness speaking. Because it couldn't exactly be me, because who would I be? What part of this would be me? There's a character, which has to be a character, so that's the behaviours and habits of Lisa. But that's not what's looking or experiencing or anything now, even though it seems to be, because it's coming out through the mouth box of Lisa. But what exactly would be the me that experiences that? There is simply life happening.
You don't feel any experience, like,
There's experience and there isn't experience, but it's no longer somebody's experience. So there's this and this isn't, but it's not my experience anymore. There is simply life experiencing itself. It's so bizarre though, because it looks to you guys most probably that that's Lisa speaking, but it's not Lisa speaking. There's not you listening, that's not Karen listening. But there's an energy which says I am listening, and that I could potentially die, and that I've had anxiety attacks, and that I've been panicked about things. And it feels like that person's listening, but that person's never heard a word. That was an experience happening as this, boundlessly free.
Right. But I don't know. It's. I don't know. I try to grasp this, and it's
Impossible.
it's impossible. It's.
The person looks in
I don't
time.
know.
It looks in what it knows. Knowing is in time. It looks in what it thinks. It looks in what it feels. You can't find it in that. Yet it is all of that. But you can't find it in that, in any particular thing. It is.
So you feel like some sort of action, like some sort of action being formed here or something, like some sort of action here, you know.
There is this happening, yeah, so there's movement happening, but that movement is also still not happening for anyone. But it's not me, it's not my consciousness or me experiencing it. There is just boundlessness expressing itself, and it is and isn't happening. So this is, so there's sound, dag, 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 dag. There's sight, there's vision, there's excitement, there's joy, there's love, there's all this happening, but not for anyone. There is nobody here listening, looking, feeling. These bodies are machines in which life experiences through, but they're totally empty. I used to be so afraid in the Lisa story of this emptiness. It was like I always knew it. I always knew that everything was empty, that it's a person. As a kid, I used to imagine if my parents, this is crazy, I don't know how I knew it, and I'm talking really young, if my parents had made love at a different time, would I exist? And that, for some reason, pondering that, I knew that the reality of everything was empty, and that I didn't exist. I knew it so well, but I was so scared of it. I would lay in bed at night. I'd always ponder these things at night when my parents put me to bed. And I was so scared of not existing. And I tried so hard to cover it up and be someone. I used to rehearse being someone. I used to walk my dogs and rehearse and pretend to be someone. And it haunted me. And the first time I took LSD in my 20s, in my early 20s, my boyfriend was really pressurizing me to take it, and I was so scared because I was scared of that emptiness. And I was also scared of a monster coming out for some reason. There'd be some sort of monster lingering there. And I remember taking it and just rolling around laughing for hours because all I could say is it's empty, it's empty, it's empty. But the empty wasn't something to be afraid of. Not existing wasn't that fear that I experienced with the imagination of death. Non-existence was total love.
So you mean to say that like you had these experiences before of total emptiness?
Oh yeah, you'll be finding that you're having them. That's why you're having the fear, but you won't even be able to recognize it. You can't recognize it as a person, really.
But I used to have fears of, I don't know, not fears exactly, but you know, like I could feel myself dying, you know, like even when I was a kid, like in sleeps and
Yeah.
you know, like yeah, like actual, I don't know what to say. It's
It's because, Karen, you're the destiny of that body-mind mechanism. I don't really believe in that word, but I have to say it in order to express this, is that it's one that's got to wake up. That's the way it goes. If that doesn't happen, then the body will just get on with having the kids and doing the family and doing what everyone else does. The ones that doesn't work for are the ones that have to wake up. And normally they've had all these sorts of things. And when you've had these fears of death, it's like the family just makes no sense, or the regular life makes no sense. What's the point? It won't get you there. And so it's in these characters that there tends to be a questioning, and this waking up happens. It's the way it's got to be. And normally, prior to waking up, there is immense fear. But it's like the story of the Buddha under the Bodhi tree. Like Maya, hell was presented and heaven was presented. And in neither he moved, but it was nothing to do with him. It's to do with that emptiness. It's not that he sat still. It's not that he didn't fall for the hell or the heaven. They were both presented, but the emptiness never moved. Nothing happened. In the hell and in the heaven, nothing was happening. And that's the way it goes. It doesn't happen in every story that it's a difficult one, this waking up for some, but most it does. In most prior, there is lots of fear because the person keeps feeling like it's dying.
so is it like the person itself, the person is killing himself?
No, the person's not killing himself. The person doesn't exist. It's just life. It's the energetic expression that's happening. Just like the rain falls in the clouds. So the rain doesn't choose to drop the water and in dropping the water disappear. It just is a happening. You think that you've been in control of your life, but you've never been in control of your life. You has been an illusion happening, giving the appearance of control and free will. You never chose to do that yoga practice. You never chose to experience the fear. You never chose to breathe. You never chose to watch, to hear, for the heart to beat, to think. It all appears. And then also what appears is this illusionary thing of sucking all those elements in and making it feel like someone separate. And as soon as that happens, that separation happens, there's always the underlying fear of death. Because in separation there is somebody alive, and then there's somebody that can potentially death. Most body-mind mechanisms can live a lifetime with that weight on their back and never questioned, although they are suffering, but it's not deep enough. But there's some body-mind mechanisms where that illusion of the self that feels like it's alive and will die is too heavy and too uncomfortable. You can't just live a regular life. It's too much to take, to be someone separate, to die, to see all the suffering of others, to see the animals tortured, to see the fighting and the arguing amongst humans, to see the crazy patterns being acted out, and to see the beauty of it and to never be able to maintain anything. It all goes. For some, that's too much. And therefore there is that collapse of the separation. But as the separation is collapsing, that person really fears, and a lot of fear arises of dying. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't exist. It will act its way out. The right impulse to do anything will come. It's always the perfect impulse, everything, even confusion. All of it's perfect painting happening.
So that's how, that's how it worked for you too? You mean intense suffering?
Yeah, I had intense suffering as this Lisa had intense suffering. It's not always the case, but yeah, I couldn't do the regular.
I'm sorry?
I couldn't do the regular life. I was so sad at such a young age about the world I saw. It's so sad from the separate perspective. Like I lived with my gran that was very sickly. She had two hips that were gone, and she had two holes in her knees that couldn't heal, so she had to have bags on them to collect the pus. And she used to cry with pain most evenings. I felt so sad for her. Like I lived with her. She lived with my mum and dad and my brother. And then my brother was very ill when I was a child as well. And I just felt so sad about all of it, that everything died and the pain and the animals. I was so sad that we ate the animals. I thought that was horrible. And that we were mean to each other, so mean to each other. At school when kids would bully each other. I couldn't understand it. Why would God create a world like that? And I was very attracted towards the idea of God. But why would God create a world with so much sadness? And there's only sadness when it's seen from a separate person. That suffering that I was seeing is only from the perspective of somebody that believes it lives and that it dies. When it's really seen that there's nobody here, there's nothing that lives and dies. There's nothing that can be lost. All of it's the same expression. It only can be lost in the world of the person. Because in the world of the person, they are separate from things. But there's nothing that's separate. All of this is love expressing itself. Everywhere you look is itself. Everywhere that's looked is itself. You think that God's going to the chapel or praying or doing something, but God is in every movement, every impulse. That freedom is in everything. And this is so creative, so truly brilliant, creative. Like it's everything. Everything is coming from total creativity, even though it doesn't make sense. And you don't know why or how. But it's all If you've ever been creative, or I used to also like to write plays, like when you write, there's such an immediacy of it, it's so intimate. And it's the same with everything, every word, every expression, every vision, everything. And all of it's got to be expressed for God knows what reason. But the rest of the time, I'm not speaking about this. Lisa acts like a very normal human being dealing with daily nonsense.
But how does everything happen then?
It just does. I don't know the answer. It just does.
Oh, I lost your video. Can you see me?
No, I can't. You can't see
Okay.
me?
No, I can't. You see you? I can't see you.
Oh yeah, I've got stuck.
Your face is like stuck.
Might not be. Sometimes it does this.
Oh, okay, I never used this. I've never used this before.
I think if I call you back, it helps.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't think it's working.
Yeah, sometimes that happens with the internet.
But when did all of this start? Like, you know? Um. So you mean to say like no one is ever born, right?
Yeah.
So it never starts and it never ends, basically, and
No. And all of it's the same energy expressing itself. But this isn't intellectual. You can't really think yourself into it. It's known in the instant of everything.
oh, this is just too intense at times, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know, when I popped LSD for the first time, it was crazy. It was, you know, like waves of, I don't know, waves of something, and they just couldn't be any perception. Like, you know, I couldn't see anything or I couldn't hear anything, and um, like it used to be so weird, and like I never thought of it as spiritual or anything, but um. like people say that they have spiritual experiences with all the drugs, you know, and um, like even with meditation and all, because like I don't know, I couldn't meditate for sure, but um, like when I did self inquiry, like I could see myself dying, and you know, like for a moment I was like sucked out.
Mm. What do you think the
You know what I mean
meditating
by
is?
that?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah. What do you think meditating is?
Sorry?
What do you think meditating is?
Oh, I have no clues. I think like people just bullshit around with such words.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, but I remember, like, when I was really young, you know, I don't know, um, maybe like 1 or 2 years old. like I remember being sucked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know, that's really hard for me to explain, but
But that's what it feels. It feels like it's like something gets sucked inside of the body, and that's what's that's what explodes back out into everything. This is not true. There's nobody having an experience. There is simply what is, and what is silent and loud, still and in movement, full and empty. And all these feelings and sensations will come up, and then they will go, like everything. Even when it's telling the worst stories of failing, of not being enough, of trapped, it will pass.
so this person, this energy, it's nothing but fear and anxiety and all sorts of feelings that pop up.
That's his base sense of it. But most people, that fear and anxiety isn't so strong. It's just quite mild, and so what they do is they busy themselves with obtaining things. House, money. They keep on moving quickly, so there's no sense of that. But yeah, the sense of it is, fear, because it's alive. My dog isn't alive, Khaleesi isn't alive, I'm not alive. So there's nothing that can die.
But dogs too can feel a lot of fear, and
Yeah, fear's a really natural thing, actually. And even when the sense of self collapses, there will still be fear. But what we were talking about is the sense of self. The sense of self claims that fear because it's alive. But there still can be fear, like Khaleesi fears when the body is about to be threatened, or when she's by herself, or whatever it is. There is fear, or other dogs. There is fear that appears in her, but it's not happening to anyone. She has no sense it's fear, it's just experience happening. So there is natural fear, but the fear that you were talking about, that anxiety and that fear, is this base sense of being separate. Comes with separation.
So have you like ever seen magical things happening with you?
What do you mean?
Like you might think of something and it just happens for you.
Oh yeah. But that's nothing. That's just life. You think something and then it happens, or you believe something and then it happens, or you think someone sends you an email about it, but that's got nothing to do with anything. Some people take that as some form of spiritual practice, but that's just in the personal world. It doesn't matter if it's coincidence or not coincidence, it's nothing compared to the emptiness, which is everything. That's just in movement, that's just in something, this and that.
So you don't think like they could be like kind of a scientific reason behind that?
Could
like
be.
Not scientific as in not like scientific, but
It
like
could be. Like when the mind thinks of it, it energetically resonates with that thing, and so it comes forward. But that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
This is that everything is empty. Sorry?
Yeah, but it's so happened with me like at least 3-4 times. When I've thought of something and it's just happened. Like,
but that doesn't matter. That's just life.
In a very intense way, and
but that's just life. You turn on the engine of the car and the car starts.
No, not that ways.
But who cares if that's got nothing to do with freedom? Who cares if there's
I totally
synchronicity?
understand that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's
But
not
I just thought
special.
of someone, and someone just called me after 6 months.
But that's just the way it works. That's often the way it works. But that's not.
That's how it works.
That's often how the way it works. You think of them and then it appears, or you think of a shop and then you walk past that shop, like you're thinking, oh, I need to find a so and so shop, and then there's one, and that's often the way it happens, or the way it happens in the Lisa case. But it's of nothing special. That's just the way it works, and it's all crazy the fact it's appearing, let alone there being synchronicities. I mean, it's crazy the fact that you wake up every day and it's all still here, and in every instant these sounds, sights, visions, everything's here. So the separate self, it makes everything normal and says, oh, it's a computer, it's a table, so what, it's always here. But that is spectacular, that is awe, mouse dropping that it's happening. That there is a computer, that we're speaking to ourselves through a computer, that these things called hands, and fingers and nails and eyes, all of it is bizarre. And the freedom is that it's empty. It's not anything intellectual that you can understand. I know all these spiritual teachers talk about all these things, but they're of no relevance really. They're only relevant for a person that's trying to be something or not be something.
So you were planning on coming to India, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When are you coming?
Oh, I'm not planning, sorry. I was planning, but I'm not now.
Oh, okay. That's cancelled.
Yeah. Too
Oh, okay.
much. Whereabouts in India are you?
Oh, I stay in Delhi.
I've never been to Delhi actually. I've spent a lot of time in India, but I never went to Delhi. They tried to divert me to Delhi once, but I never went.
Also, so like you come here and give proper talks, like proper retreats.
I did a few times, yeah. Not retreats. I gave talks on a rooftop
Oh, okay.
and in a hall in Oroville once, or
Oh,
a couple
okay.
of times.
Oh, okay. Oh, so someone arranges that for you, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
yeah. It was nice.
The Oroville is beautiful.
Yeah,
Few pictures. Like never been there, but
yeah. It's really nice. I like it there. I like India actually. I sometimes find it a little scary as a white woman by herself, but apart from that, I like it. I feel like the conversation's coming to an end now, Karen. But that was
Yeah.
really lovely speaking with you. Really lovely.
Oh yeah, really lovely speaking to you too. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, Nick, you've moved house. Ah, nice to hear from you, Nick. But you moved house. It was full anyway, Nick. So, you know, you're saying sorry for not coming, but it was full. Where did they move you to? I know they were going to knock those down. It was such a nice place you had. Where did they kick you to? I think I remember you saying you were happy with it. Oh, from number 14 to 5. They just move you a few down. Well, I think that's it then. There's no more questions. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I shall see you this Sunday at 6 p.m. Dutch time. And Alango has requested that I make this talk earlier, which I'm taking into consideration. But if I make it earlier for Alango, someone else will ask me to make it later. So, so look on my website before next Wednesday's talk, or my Facebook page or something, in case I've made it 1 hour earlier. But we shall see. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye.